Tokyo, Japan. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Welcome to episode 44, part 1, validation, external. Now, when I say external, I'd like you to keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what is validation? Well, it could be considered acknowledgement. It could be considered recognition. I think a closer word would be justification. In science, to have a proper experiment, it must be valid. Now, what does that mean? It means that the experiment measures what it is supposed to measure. An experiment that would be doing research that is not valid would be height measures or shows intelligence. Now, I'm a short guy, so I would be against that. But the idea is height doesn't have anything to do with intelligence. That would not be a valid experiment. With people, a key element to validation is congruency. Now, what do I mean by congruency? I mean that what people say and do are congruent, they're parallel, they're in harmony with each other. My mom used to say, talk is cheap, actions speak. And I think that's very, very true. So you are what you do. That's what one of my mentors had on his office door at the university, and I certainly believe that's true. For a person to have validation, or for a person to be validated, the essential need there is honesty. A person must be honest. And there are times in which a person being honest must be able to say no, must be able to speak truth to power. That's very, very important. We all would like validation. We all like to hear validation from other people, and that's typically how we get validated. But my suggestion is check reality. For example, once with my mentor who was advising me, I said, I just don't think I'm very successful. I'm disappointed in my life. I'm disappointed in me and what I've done with my life. And my mentor, Dr. David Reynolds, said, oh, really? He said, well, let's check what reality has to say. I said, okay. He said, so you've worked with 7 Japanese astronauts, is that right? Yes. He said, no success there. And you've worked with them and you're still working with a number of the Japanese astronauts, is that correct? Oh, yeah, that's true. He said, well, and you have your own company. You started your own company way back in 1996. Is that true? Yes, that's true. And your company has been ongoing. It never closed shop. It never went out of business. That's true. And your clientele, your customers, how long do they normally stay with you? And I said, on an average of 15 to 20 years. He said, So the idea is, if you're worried, if you're concerned about yourself, if you're concerned about have I done the right thing? If you're looking for validation, my suggestion is go to your friends, go to your family, go to your supervisors or your instructor. Ask them, would you be kind enough to give me a clear-eyed view of who I truly am? And get validation from them. Now, remember, you have no control over others, and you have no control and no guarantee over results. All you can do is what you can do at this moment. Let me say that again. All you can do is what you can do at this moment. You can work towards a goal. Nothing goes as planned. Nothing goes as planned. So results many times are out of our control. And that's okay, because it makes life interesting. So you can work towards that plan, you can hope for the results, you can hope for validation, and that's okay. Just remember that the future is uncharted, And it's going to be unexpected. So it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to evolve. One of my friends used to say, I want everything, I expect nothing. So no expectations. What I would suggest you consider doing is hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And that will be the idea of the next episode, which is going to be about internal. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.